There's a weird phenomenon that happens when you try to do something big in your life and make a switch, make a change, level up, whatever it is, add on new skills, AI, add on courses, whatever, certifications. The thing that happens is very interesting. Let's talk about what that is and how we can address it today. Welcome to How to Switch to a Tech Career in Your 30s and 40s. It's the podcast where we love to get excited and down to brass tacks, talking about the real things that help you move the needle when you switch from any other career into a high-tech or IT career. And this is where we're going to discuss the real hints, tips, tricks, and the methods and the protocol that help you switch into a real tech career. So welcome. Yeah, welcome to you. This will be more of a bite-sized episode as getting ready to go on a little trip here. And I will tell you, I'm not ashamed to say that my wife has stuck with me for 30 years in this marriage as of next week. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm thankful for her and everything she's done for me. And the thing is, she's allowed me to get through so many things and to try so many things. And she's given me advice as to how to persist in some of them as well. And I think that's the main ingredient for anyone I've seen do anything that's different than just sitting on a couch watching shows. Even sitting on a couch watching shows or watching sports, at some point, we just can't take any more of it, right? We just gotta get out and do something. And I have to say that getting out and doing something or trying something new, it's just been a part of my life. So this episode, I introed it with the thing that's common among all people on this planet. It's about obstacles. And not just obstacles, but the phenomenon that happens when you try to switch careers, which means basically upending your entire life. The phenomenon I've noticed among all the people that I've met, and I can't think of one person who has struggled and reached out to me and has not had this phenomenon happen to them. And that is, we feel like we have this feeling or assumption that things will be easy. For some reason, we know this is a huge lift for us to switch from being a barista or a violinist or a real estate salesperson or an insurance person or even a preacher. Switching from all of those occupations into a higher tech career, for some reason, the phenomenon happens where we think it'll be easy. We think it will be without interruption. We think it'll be smooth. It will be direct. It will be something that can be done without much trial. And that's the phenomenon. All those careers I just listed, of course, are ones that I was doing before I took a job and was humbled by having to take a job and was blessed by getting to take a job that was in tech. So for some reason, we think that we are oblivious. We're basically oblivious, and we're going to be immune to challenges when we try to go for that big kill. We're hunting down that big job, that great career. The truth is, like nothing else, you will encounter obstacles. And the truth is that you will need people around you. Maybe you've already noticed this. I had someone reach out to me last week. It was a couple weeks ago, actually, after listening to this podcast. And if you're listening, thank you for listening again. And we had a chat about career, and it was very good. I think that the podcast here is kind of a nice place for some people to go when they encounter these obstacles. And I want to tell you, because you're listening, I want to tell you that, these will never go away. The story I have is of one developer who was very intelligent, very, very quick learner. And he got a job in tech. He reached out to me and we had a consultation a few years ago. And it went like this. He said, "I don't know what to do now because I've been given so much responsibility at my new tech job." And he wasn't in tech before and he got into programming and he was so good at it that he just kept taking on more responsibility at work and he got completely burned out. And his obstacle that he never thought he would encounter was time management at work and how to manage your manager, so to speak. That's I have a risk assessment module that I train people in, and that I know it's a part of everybody's journey. Is you have to know how to manage yourself and how to manage others, and not in a bad way, in a good way that sets expectations correctly, so that you're not burned out or people don't expect you to be Superman or whatever. So you're going to lose credibility if you can't set parameters and predict the amount of work things are and do that, of course, and nobody can do that perfectly. But in this example, this person needed help communicating with his management to say, "I can't do this. I can't do everything you give me." And that is a sign of a new developer, and that's okay. But you need to be aware that maybe you just want to get a job. You just want to get an interview. You just want to feel like your resume is not just being thrown in the trash or deleted through the ATS and ignored by companies. And I want you to know and take comfort in this. If it's if it's something that can be taken comfort in, these obstacles will not go away ever. Now, I've been doing programming for many years now, and I've been going in and out of positions and just trying to do my best to keep my career moving forward. Haven't always been successful at doing that. Sometimes I haven't been in control of it. But I do know I can tell you this. Things have gotten a little bit easier over the years in some ways. But in most ways, in most areas, because I keep pressing forward and don't want to lose a position because I wasn't performing, or I don't want to lose an opportunity because I didn't take it, the obstacles have always been there. The difficulty has always been high. And this is the phenomenon that you run into where you think that things will get easy and they just don't. And this is hard. I know this is hard to hear, but take comfort in that. Because if you know that and you approach everything that way, you will start to create systems around you and for yourself so that when you encounter an obstacle, you won't be completely destroyed by it. It's interesting that my podcast is, and maybe you've noticed this as you've been listening, but it's interesting that the topics have converged into how to get over obstacles. Maybe that's because in my own life, I'm realizing that that is really the skill above all skills. It's to overcome obstacles. How do you handle problems? So I would like you to consider the phenomenon and see if you can address that in your own life. Are you in a place where you can handle obstacles? Have you encountered any obstacles? Um, it seems weird, but some people haven't. When they call me or when they have a chat with me, it doesn't matter how, but they do not know how to handle obstacles because they haven't had them yet. There's a story, of course, about uh, maybe not a story, but every time someone gets married, they go through counseling, and I remember doing counseling a little bit on my own, and there are some couples that they want to get married and they haven't ever had a big argument and they haven't disagreed very much, and that's tends to be a red light, a red flag. for those people, because they just don't understand how to handle conflict. And the reason it's a red flag is because it will come. And everybody, everybody has problems. Everybody has obstacles. And if you don't know how to address them, that's okay. But as long as you know that they're coming, then you can make some changes and get ready for the storms. There was an old speaker who I really appreciated. His name was Jim Rohn. I think his last name is Rohn, and I think his first name was Jim. Maybe I'm confusing Jim Rome, the sports broadcaster, with Jim Rohn, the motivator. But one of the things he said was that you should be planting when it's spring, and you should be harvesting when it's fall, and you should be. He didn't really say anything about winter, but there are times of winter, and of course, this is all about business. So if you notice that there are a lot of opportunities out there, it's time for you to go try to get them. If you notice that there are not a lot of opportunities, you might be missing them. You might be looking in the wrong places. But it is possible that it's kind of dry out there. And so it's not time to harvest, and it's not time to plant. It's not time to put in your applications. But maybe that's the time where you need to go and look for some more skills. And so judge the seasons of your job seeking project, basically, and figure out what you need to be doing right now, and realize things will change. Things will get more difficult. So what do you need to do today in order to be ready for the storms, for winter? What can you do to put aside a little bit right now so that you're ready when times are lean? And they will get lean. The phenomenon that we have when we get so excited, and so we're full of energy when we want to start something new, and I know this very well. You have a lot of adrenaline, you have a lot of excitement, hopes, and dreams, and then you encounter obstacles, and you think, well, either you're doing something wrong or it's a sign that you shouldn't continue. Well, the truth is that the problem is not the obstacle. The problem is our mindset, thinking that there won't be obstacles, or that every obstacle is a sign. If you're driving down the road and you go over a pothole, or maybe you go into the pothole, and you think, well, I've got to maybe take the car into the shop to check out the wheel, even the tire, hopefully not the tire, and for sure check out the suspension system. What you don't think is, well, I shouldn't be driving anymore. I think I need to turn in my license. And what you don't think is, well, this car is trash. No, you think, I need to keep driving. I need to keep using this vehicle. I need to just make sure that it's okay. And the preparation you had when you purchased the vehicle, of course, you didn't think much about it, but the suspension system is a built-in way. It's a mechanism to make sure that you can overcome obstacles without damaging the vehicle or yourself. What are you doing in your life to make sure that this pursuit of your next level is going to be able to overcome obstacles? Or do you either think there won't be any obstacles, or you haven't thought about it? Or do you maybe think, well, obstacles, just, I'm going to plow through everything without even considering maybe I should take a different road where there isn't a pothole. If you don't know what potholes are, you're not from like the Midwest. It's a huge hole in the road. Maybe it's the size of your hand up to the size of, 4 feet wide, and a few inches to a foot deep. It's horrible for the vehicle. But maybe you need to pick a different road where it's paved better. Maybe things are too difficult right now because you're pursuing something in your next level, in your tech career, in your AI career. You're pursuing something that's too far away and too difficult for you to reach ever. So these are difficult conversations to have with yourself, with your spouse, with your family. But you need to have them, first of all, in your own mind. If you need help, you can reach out to me, and you should check the show description. I can give you a little bit of advice or pointers, and you can check with AI as well. But the problem with AI is you're not going to. It's kind of as good as you know how to make it. So it's not very good at seeing around corners for you. So that's that. I want you to be aware of the phenomenon that we might have blind spots to the fact that there are going to be a lot of struggles. And if you know that there will be struggles, you will not only prepare for them, but and put in place some systems and mechanisms to help you get over or through or around those struggles, or change lanes, or change roads. But also, when you encounter them, you won't be surprised. So that's very, very difficult to be surprised by something you didn't know would ever be there. And then you start thinking bad things. Should I quit? Should I do something completely different? And it doesn't make any logical sense if you had planned it out before. As if you had planned it out before. That's that. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope it's been a little helpful. We'll see you next time. How to Switch to a Tech Career in Your 30s and 40s is the podcast that tries to help you switch into a tech career, no matter what your background is, give you some support and some encouragement along the way. Now, if you're stuck and you need some help, give me an email at info@techlead.com, info@tekleed.com, all spelled wrong. Until next time, my name is Brooks Haynes, and I've been your host today, and I thank you for listening. From the shores of the Vermilion River in southeastern Minnesota, have a good day.